If you could go back in time and have a conversation with yourself about knife collecting, what would you say? How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. Head on down to the comment section. Let me know, what would that conversation even look like? How far back would you go? Today we're talking about this guy. This is the Gavko Thresher. And I'm excited to talk about it because it's such a cool knife. If you're looking for a video where I bash on a knife, this is not it. I do have videos where I give not so great reviews of knives, but you know, I also don't request knives that I don't like or that I don't think I will like. I don't do that. I don't set myself up. I don't set up my audience. But every now and then, a knife surprises me. It goes beyond. And it takes it to the next level. This is one of those knives. Let's talk about the Gavko Thresher. Here it is, the Gavko Thresher, the knife that surprised me the most in the recent shipment from Caviso. Gavko designs are always a little bit on the edgy side, but he does a good job of leaving it within the realm of reality. Something else that Gavko is known for is his aquatic themes, which is weird because, you know, when you think aquatic, the last thing I think about is steel, right? Maybe that's just me, but props to him for actually having a theme and for naming his knives after it, and in this case, designing it after it. Check out these scales. This is what you would call the pelagic or the Pelagio scales, and you can only find this at Caviso. So if you like this scale type, Caviso is the place to get it. With that being said, the reason why this knife surprised me is that because when I saw the pictures online, I saw the different thumb studs, I saw the blade shape, I saw the pelagic scales, and you know what? I was interested, but I wasn't like overly wowed, right? After getting it in hand, immediately I noticed these pelagic scales are perfect for ergonomics. It's perfect. We're used to seeing finger cutouts, right? Where it encourages ergonomics by forcing your hand into a certain position. These pelagic scales are awesome because they guide your fingers into this perfect grip. Now, this knife, like many knives, does not have any jimping, which to me is sad because I think had there been jimping from here to here, yeah, no, that would be absolutely perfect. However, because of how locked in you are with this finger groove and these pelagic scales, which create some nice cutouts for the pads of your fingers, I'm not terribly mad about it. Now you might be wondering, dude, you haven't even told me what this knife is made out of. Titanium, 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 S35VN. All right, let's move on. I know I didn't dig super far into the specs. I like S35VN, guys. I think that it's a great steel. It's a very, very nice premium steel, and I'm not disappointed to see it on this knife at all. I believe this knife is going for somewhere around the realm of about 150 bucks. I'll link it in the comment section down below for anybody that wants to check it out. It's not an affiliate link. I don't get anything if you use it. But so far, I've only been able to find this specific one at Caviso with these scales. There's another Thresher out there that is claimed by BRS, by Blade Runner Systems. But that one is the XL. It does not have these scales. And after holding this one, I think that one just wouldn't be as perfect of a fit in a bigger size. I do believe that, at least for me, with my large size gloves, I feel like this is the perfect size. I really enjoy this double clip point blade. I think that it looks sharp, even though it's nicely knocked down. And then it has this deep belly that it transitions to. Something else that I noticed right away is that it has a nice bevel on it from the factory. An issue that I have with a lot of factory grinds is that bevels are not nearly as wide as they need to be to get optimal performance and longevity out of that edge. But in this case, I don't believe that that is actually going to be an issue because these bevels are nice and wide. They're actually the perfect width, which is really good to see from a production standpoint. So I definitely like that. Something else that I'm really a big fan of is these thumb studs. These thumb studs are not what we typically see. And at first glance, you might say, dude, there's nothing special about those. First of all, they are thicker than regular thumb studs. They're more perfectly rounded, and they have this texturing on the sides. It makes for a very perfect reverse flick. And if you've watched any amount of my videos, you know I don't prefer thumb studs over flipper tabs or over deployment holes or fullers for that matter. I don't even prefer them over front flippers. Thumb studs are not my go-to. However, I make an exception when it's a different kind of thumb stud that works really well. The detent on here is tuned for a thumb stud, which means that whether you are reverse flicking or regular flicking, it's going to fly out with authority. And that's nice. The pocket clip is not deep carry. It's going to leave about this much of the knife sticking out of your pocket, which is not a huge deal. It's not really a huge deal, guys. I don't need every clip to be super tactical deep carry. I'm not trying to conceal everything from everybody. You know, if they want to know about the Gavko Thresher in my pocket, you know, I'll let them know why I'm happy to see them. Another feature that I really like is this 3/4 length backspacer. In fact, I would say it's more than 3/4 length. It's almost a full body length backspacer. And the cutouts in that backspacer nicely match the cutouts on the handle scales. And it's funny, I say handle scales, but these actually do look like scales, which is cool. It's really cool. There is some billboarding on the blade. We've got the Gavko Designs logo, and then it says S35VN. In case you forgot the specs of the knife that you bought, you know, for those of you who you want to do some flexing on, like check out my S35VN. Just kidding, don't do that. The backside is perfectly neutered and neutral. There is no billboarding on that. And then we do have the drop logo on the pivot. So Caviso kind of reinvigorated the inventory from Drop. Drop is no longer doing knife sales as far as I understand it. And I'm not entirely sure if Caviso is owned by the same people, but I know that they bought out as much of the outdoors and knife EDC related stuff from Drop as possible. So you're going to see some Drop exclusives that are now Caviso exclusives, and this is one of them. This is going to be inventory that was left over from that switchover, and you can tell because that's what it shows on the pivot. That's crazy. It's crazy, and it makes me want to get one because I don't know if when they sell out, if they'll ever have these again. These are hard to find. I did my research. The only other one I could find that was not at Caviso was the BRS version, which I'm not a fan of, but it's the bigger version without these pelagic scales. Overall, it doesn't feel super heavy in the hand. It's thick, but it's not too thick. The inside is not milled out at all, which makes me wonder how much does it weigh? I know I could check the specs on the website, or, you know, I could just pull out my scale. I'm going to guess that this is coming in somewhere in the low to mid 4 ounce. I mean, I guess it's possible. It could be 5 ounces. It could be. But it doesn't feel that heavy. I want to say it's mid to low 4s. There it is, 4.6. All right, look, if you can eyeball it, you can eyeball it. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison up against the Spyderco Manix 2. The overall length is going to be very, very similar. As far as the footprint of the blade, also very similar, just a different angle at which you get the point of that blade. If we were to compare handle scale thickness, it is a bit thicker on the Thresher, but not by a terrible amount. The handle scales are also a little slimmer too. Ultimately, I like this knife. For the $150 price range that I believe this is in, shoot, in case I'm wrong, let's call it sub $200 price point. And I'll put a piece of text above because I'll check this after the video, but I'm pretty sure it's around 150. Am I right? Cool. So in this sub $200 price point, I think that this is a steal. The design language, the attention to detail, the uniqueness of this knife, they all point to something that I really enjoy. The lockup on here, which I haven't talked about yet, that's going to be coming in about 30%. As far as blade centering, is it centered? Yeah, it's dead on center. No issues there. And lockup, is there any blade play up, down, left, right? Nope. Is there any pivot lash? Nope. Any detent lash? No. Guys, this is a great knife for the price. For the money, you'd be hard pressed to find a better bargain. I think that more people should pick these up while they can, because I have a feeling that once they're gone, they might not do another run of these. But it's your money. You let me know. We vote with our dollars. Have you already picked one of these up? Are you planning on picking one of these up? If not, why not? Guys, if you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, boo-hoo. You know what to do. And if you want to see more knife content, there is definitely more coming. Make sure you hit subscribe and smack that notification bell. I'm Rollshambo. I'll catch you on the flip side.